Okay, so I just wanted to talk about how recently Disney and Digital Eclipse released Aladdin and Lion King as some game pack, and they actually went in and modified the original Genesis ROM to make some changes to like collision detection and camera movement and other things. But I just wanted to point out, as I also did on Reddit, there's a thread about it in the emulation subreddit, that you can actually extract the modified Genesis ROM from the Disney collection and just play the game in a real emulator. So this is, running it in MAME, without all of that other, Disney program garbage, because their Genesis emulator blows and you don't even want to use it. So I just wanted to point that out. And also, I wanted to, shove a big middle finger up, Digital Eclipse, because okay, so for you guys that don't know, there's this douchebag who runs Digital Eclipse, and he also runs this video game preservation foundation or something, whatever bullshit name that they give the fraudulent company. And so basically, what this guy does is he, basically hoards ROMs and source code and anything else that he can find that has to do with old games. And then once he gets a hold of that stuff, he then trolls different companies to see if they're interested in doing a re-release. And so his other company, Digital Eclipse, then steps in, puts together the re-release, and he makes money off of it. So basically, he has a major conflict of interest. Like supposedly, he runs a preservation foundation, which should just be all about preserving things, making it available to the public, getting it out there, making sure it's not lost. But then on the other hand, he runs a company that fucking sells game re-releases. So as if that's not a fucking conflict of interest. And so in this case, this scumbag, this slimy, dirty scumbag, got a hold of the Genesis Aladdin source code, and then he hired some patsy to make some hacks to the code, and recompiled it. Got a new Genesis ROM out of it, and he managed to dupe Disney into contracting Digital Eclipse to put together that shitty Aladdin and Lion King game collection. And so if you see any product from Digital Eclipse, don't give them any money. They're scumbags. They don't care about preservation. They don't care about video games. They're just out for money. And if you see anything related, to that asshole, who runs that game preservation foundation or Digital Eclipse, to stay, very far away. And so that's why I'm trying to get the information out there, let people know this is just a Genesis ROM. Pirate it, extract the Genesis ROM, and then you're done with it. Fuck them. Don't give them any money. They're a bunch of fucking assholes. So we got that out of the way. Another interesting thing that's going on, and this kind of like falls within the realm of. Oh, actually, I wanted you to see this. This kind of is kind of a similar thing that was going on with Frogger. I did a video about Frogger a while ago. Notice how when you run Galaga in MAME, you see imperfectly emulated features graphics. Well, that's because the emulation of the Starfield graphics in Galaga has never been accurate. The Starfield has always been wrong. And so in the next version of MAME, they put in a lot of hard work. And so in MAME, 215, the Starfield is actually going to be pixel accurate to the original arcade game. And they've added a new video device for the Starfield generator for Galaga. And it also affects, some other games on the Galaga hardware. But yeah, so basically, after all this time, fucking Galaga wasn't emulated accurately. So isn't it crazy? All of these things, people just take it for granted. Oh yeah, that's a done deal. Nothing to be done there. So I mean, don't you think that's funny? On the one hand, you have some asshole who essentially, got Aladdin source code and decided to profit off of it, as opposed to just releasing it to the public, so that you could get native PC ports of Aladdin with widescreen or something. I mean, like things actually awesome. No, instead some douchebag decided to make money off of it by doing a Disney collection by releasing some half-assed ROM hacks. So that's really fucking great. So in any case, Galaga is going to be pixel perfect in the next version of MAME. So if you're into Galaga, look out for that. The other thing, just a minor Final Fight update. I'm still working on it. Things are still going on. Um, some interesting stuff. So see, like this monitor. This monitor recently came out. It's a 43-inch, 4K, 120 hertz FreeSync monitor. And what's interesting about 43-inch monitors is if you rotate them and put them into portrait mode, they actually fit in a lot of arcade cabinets pretty fucking well because a 43-inch 16:9 monitor in portrait mode is about the width of a larger American style arcade cabinet. And so the interesting thing you can do is if you rotate it like that, you can just run games in MAME rotated. Like for example, if you did Samurai Showdown 2, rotating it right, see how you could actually mount a large LCD in an arcade cabinet vertically, and then center it, and then actually have like a really big fucking screen, but still using an LCD. Because basically you can't buy, a widescreen monitor that will be as large as, like a 25-inch 4.3 CRT and still fit in an arcade cabinet. So vertical mounting is pretty much the only option. And so being aware of this, you can see where this is going. I of course added this option into the Final Fight remake. So you can see how here, rotate 90 degrees. And I'm sure you also noticed too that I kind of spiced up this background a little bit. I added some parallax, clouds, and some of the city background graphics from the West Side stage. Just because this was one of like the weakest backgrounds in the game. It was just so terrible looking that I wanted to give it a little more flair. And the other thing, I'm not going to bother to show it, but the other thing is I've actually modified Final Fight to maintain a lot more state. And so basically, like if you have a sword in Final Fight now in a level, and you go to the next level, when you come in, you'll actually still have the sword. So things like weapon pickups actually carry over between stages now, and so exiting one stage won't just force you to drop your weapon. So the game carries more state between levels than the original arcade game did. So that's just kind of like a minor update of things going on right now.